All right, y'all. It's your girl Shay Renee, and we are back to talk about Sistas, episode 3, season 4. All right, so let's get into it like we do, shall we? All right, y'all. So the episode continues from the last episode where Danny walks in and catches Preston red-handed, getting ready to go out with. Now we found out today her name is Tanya. Okay, so Tanya is Karen's client that is going on a date with Preston. She came in at middle of the week to get her hair done randomly. So Karen was playing Inspector Gadget and found out that it was daggone Preston that she was going out with. So Danny actually shows up to the salon contrary to what she said she was going to do. So Preston and Danny end up, so they go back and forth and for a little bit, and Tanya is like, what the hell is going on here? First of all, if I'm Tanya, I'm never going to Karen to get my damn hair done again because ma'am, you are messy. Okay, I came here to give you my good government dollars to pay you to do my hair, and this is how you repay me. How your friend know I was here? How your friend know what was going on? Because you're messy. You called her and told her to come up here. That is so, what Karen did was so unprofessional. And furthermore, if I was Karen to save my butt and save a client, because you was just, this place was just empty a couple days ago. Granted. So you gonna have Miss Ma'am going back to the cheap guy just off GP because you messy. As soon as Danny had walked in, I'd be like, "Hey, girl, you here for me to touch your hair up? What's going on? What brings you here? What you doing here?" I would be making sure that my client knows that I didn't tell Danny to come, even though we know you're messy behind it. But moving right along, Preston and Danny go into Karen's office to talk. And Tanya is at the register paying. And of course, Pam being messy as Pam gonna be. And I don't even know what was going on there. But anyway, that was just an extra little scene that didn't need to happen. So Preston and Danny go in Karen's office to talk. And Preston says he likes Tanya because she likes animals as much as he does, and cows and all the things. Okay. And apparently it's because Tanya is a veterinarian and they talk all the time. So here's my thing, Danny, you have these now I get it. She has some very valid points when Preston he would pop up at her house all the time and just not respect her boundaries, right? However, Danny is a part of the women that I feel like you want a man, but you really don't want a man. You want a man to be nice to you, but then you really don't want a man to be nice to you. It's like you just really don't know what the hell you want. Like when he's not calling you, you're like, what happened? Why is he not calling? But then when he was calling her all the time, she thought he was too soft. It's like, what the hell do you want? Do you want a man that ignores you, or do you want a man that's going to give you attention? He's found a woman that likes his level of communication. They talk all the time. They have things that both of them are interested in. So I don't really, that whole thing with Danny kind of irritates me a little bit because she's like so wayward. She's so up and down when it comes to Preston. And then the mere fact that you're here checking up on him to show him that you see him going out on a date when y'all clearly just said that y'all wasn't going to be talking anymore. Why are you here? So anyway, Preston says, listen, I'm going to go on my date with Tanya. We're going to have a good time. And I'm just tired of you wanting pieces of me. You let me know which piece you want the most, and we'll figure it out from there. I'll call you tomorrow. So he leaves out, and Karen comes in and says, what's going on? I'm like, girl, your messy ass. You know what the hell is going on. So Karen comes in and says, oh, now I remember. So Danny says, let me say this first. Danny says they're just trying to figure things out. And Karen says, oh, I didn't know, but it looks like he's figured it out and he's trying to figure it out with someone else. Basically just being a messy boots broad, just a hater because don't nobody want her right now. So she want to make everybody else miserable. So then Karen wants to bring up that this is possibly Zach's fault because Zach, when he got out of jail, apparently he was working for Tanya, who this veterinarian girl. And he somehow probably introduced Preston to the veterinarian, which I'm like, why would Zach introduce him to this lady? And he met Preston in Danny's apartment because they were together. Like they were at least screwing each other and they were trying to build something. So why would he introduce him to some other chick? I don't believe that. I think that Karen is just being messy. And again, she's spiraling right now and she's trying to bring everybody into her bullshit. Okay. Like she got a whole cabinet full of bullshit that's spilling over and she just trying to let everybody catch it. All right. So Danny ends up leaving. She's like, you know what, Karen, I'm just so sick of you and your stuff. I gotta go. And Karen is like, he told me that she told me they met at the gas station. I swear I didn't know anything. So Danny leaves, calls Fuego when she gets outside and asks him to come by. And Fuego says, whatever your problem is, don't take it out on me. And Danny says, look, are you coming over or not? Like, I just got to get these frustrations out. And either you're going to be a part of me and getting over this dude or not. I can make another phone call. So in the next scene, Zach goes to Fatima's house and sits down with her and asks her, is she really this girl? Like, basically, are you really this damn crazy? Like, you out here got a goon squad basically on ready to commit whatever crime you need them to commit. What's going on here? Okay. But he said it in like a glowing manner, like, my bruh is that bitch. Like she really gets it done and makes it happen. Okay. So Zach says, so Fatima was like, yeah, I'm definitely that chick. And she says, Hayden isn't Zach. And she was happy that he wasn't going to, that he was going to take the rap for her. So basically she was like, Hayden is not the type of guy that she trying to be messing with. Zach is basically, it's them against the world at this point. And she knew that was the case when Zach was like, he was going to do a bid for her. Like he basically had her back enough that he would have went to jail for her for what happened. And if you see in past episodes, as scared as Zach is to go back to jail, that's a huge thing that he was going to take the rap for Fatima. Okay. So she saw that and really appreciated it. And Zach says, of course, I got your back. And he asks, so who are these dudes that got your back? And she's like, listen, I do head up the program with the inmates, the transitioning inmates. Of course I'm going to get a level of loyalty from some of them. So they got my back and I got theirs. So Zach says he's somewhere between scared and in love when it comes to her. And she says the only man he needs to be worried about is himself. So I feel like Fatima is always trying to make sure that Zach understands how important it is for him to not break her heart. Like she's very weird, leery of men that basically are untrustworthy. So she wants to make sure that he not out here playing games because she ain't got time for it. And if I'm about to be out here loving you and all this stuff, don't make me look stupid. And I think she's constantly worried about him making her look stupid. So she has to keep reminding him, don't freaking play with me because I ain't got time for the bush. Okay. So then the next scene, Danny goes to Sabrina's house and immediately goes to the fridge to grab some alcohol. And Sabrina says, what are you doing? Calvin is coming over to take me to dinner. And Danny says, don't forget your vibrator, child. I about bust out laughing. I'm like, yeah, don't forget your vibrator and see if he got on some lace panties, honey. You might got some in your drawer he can borrow at this point. I'm like, woo, this man is extra special. And what in the name of men are out here? Like, I'm married. I've been married it'll be 9 years in October. If that's what's out here, child, I'd be Oprah. I can't. I'm gonna find me a Stedman, and that's gonna be it. Because if that's what I got to be doing, being with somebody that want to take it up and where no. Anyway, moving right along. Sabrina says, "What if I marry him?" And Danny says, "That's definitely not going to happen because I know you. You're not marrying him." Then she tells Sabrina about Preston going on a date and the whole situation with Preston and the new girl with her. She said the girl had on moo boots. I about died. I'm like, goodness gracious. Just because they like cows and they like talking about cows, now you want to say the bitch had on some moo boots. Child, I'm done with Danny. So she says Karen thinks Zach hooked them up. Which, again, I don't believe that. I don't think Zach had so much else going on in his life I'm sure he ain't got no damn time to be worrying about hooking Preston up. So anyway, moving right along, Karen goes to Andy's house and they sit down and talk. And Andy offers Karen a drink. And again, Karen rejects the drink, obviously because she's pregnant. But at this point, Andy doesn't know. So then Andy tries to pass her the weed pen, and she's like, "I'm good." And Andy like, "What's up with this new sober lifestyle? You trying to go ahead? You ain't fooling me. What the hell is going on? Is it the preacher?" So I guess she's thinking that the preacher is encouraging her to not smoke and drink. She's not even getting the fact that Karen could possibly be pregnant. So then Andy is telling Karen, she's like, "Are you holding out for Zach? I really hope you're not, because that would be tragic at this point." And Karen is like, "No, I'm not holding out for Zach." And she's like, "Well, you haven't been talking about the preacher man. Like, where is he? And why haven't you been talking to him?" And Karen was like, "I actually miss him." And she's like, "If you miss him, call him. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Call the guy, communicate with him. If that's what you trying to do, you trying to be talking to him, talk to the man." So then they get into talking about this car. And Karen was like, "You need to leave Gary alone, just like I need to stop worrying about Zach." And she's like, "What you gonna do about this car? Like, you need to get this man his car back." And Andy was like, and Karen was like, "This is crazy, right? Like, he could have a tracking device on this car or anything." And it seemed like Andy liked crazy shit, because she kind of lights up when Karen brings up the fact that he could have a tracking device on her car. And she's like, "Yeah, girl, because that's something he would do or whatever." And I'm like, "Andy, little baby, that's not cute, okay? It's not cute. Don't track me down at all, okay? I don't care what type of expensive $500,000+ car you done bought me, sir. Do not track me down, because you're gonna track it to the trash. That's where you gonna track it at, okay?" So they end up saying, she says, "Well, what's the hurt in driving it around like at least one time before I get rid of it?" She's like, "Maybe I should have someone come and pick it up tomorrow." And she's like, "Well, we could ride in it one time. I ain't never been in a car like that before." This is Karen. But you know what? I also rewind. When Karen came over, she was like, "Yeah, I saw the car." I'm like, "No, you didn't see that damn car, because don't Andy live?" I'm thinking Andy lives in a building where it's highly secured. How the hell she see Andy car? It had to have been in the parking garage. So that part was real fake. But anyway, getting back to where we was at. So they go, apparently Andy puts her shoes on, they going outside to go hop in the car. So in the next scene, Sabrina goes to Calvin and Maurice's house, and they leave out to go to dinner and leave Maurice and Laz to hang out. So them two are kind of, Maurice and Laz are in there kikiing, and Sabrina, Maurice says, "You know what kind of guys I like, right, Sabrina?" And basically Sabrina's like, "Yeah, but I thought you guys would hit it off." So Maurice is basically like, "You don't know shit, because you should know that we would not be a item. This wouldn't work. We like the same thing. Why would we be together?" So Calvin and Sabrina whisk off into the sunset to go to dinner, and Laz and Maurice are there kikiing still. They end up, I guess they getting ready to go out to eat or go out for drinks themselves or whatever the case may be. So in the next scene, Andy and Karen go joyriding in the car that Gary gave her, and then they end up getting pulled over by the police. And the police orders them to get out the car, both of them. And she's like, "You're making a big mistake. You don't know who I am." Basically, playing privileged, okay? And I'm like, "Girl, shut up and get out the damn car." So she get her pointy sleeves out the car, child. And then to come to find out, so of course it goes to commercial for it to be dramatic. Then the damn cop starts singing and says, Gary is sorry and he wants you back," or something. I can't even remember the melody that they were using, but she loved it so much she starts smiling. She's like, "Oh my gosh, that is so clever. So he really did have a tracking device on my car." She's like, "I don't want Gary, and you know what? You guys need to leave. You guys need to leave." Like, while she's smiling in the background. I'm like, "Andy, you're so full of crap. You love the drama. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, this man literally told you at the end of last season that he was sleeping with somebody and cheating on you. Just imagine how many other people he was cheating on you with that you don't never know if you'll ever find out about. But you got this $500,000 car and all these clothes in it. Mind you, she had that car parked somewhere. The bags that he had in it was still in the damn car, child. I don't know how they still in there and nobody didn't take them out yet. But anyway, you know, Tyler wrote it. So she get it, her and Karen get back in the car and they drive off. So in the next scene, Fatima and Zach, child, they hunching on the couch and they hunching real hard because they done poured a whole bottle of Dasani on Zach's back, front and back, to make this look real, okay? Because they want you to know it's real. So they going from round for round. So he like, listen, give me 10 minutes and we can go again. And she's like, nah, I'm done. You know, she hurting down there. We got to take a little break, okay? And he like, all right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and go play basketball with the fellas then. She's like, no, they have, I know you fucking lying. You're not about to go play no damn basketball at 10 o'clock at night. Are you kidding me? Why I'm just now finding out that you play basketball at 10 o'clock at night. And he's like, no, chill, chill, chill. I usually don't go play basketball this late at night. But now that I have more time, I was working at the airport. I was doing extra overtime and all this, that, and the third, working at Chain Breakers. And I didn't have time to be going and playing basketball with my boys late at night. But now I have the time, so I'm going to go. And she's like, I'm going with you. She was like, you know what? Then she was getting ready to say, I don't think this gonna work or whatever. And he's like, listen, you got to stop trying to run away every time something comes up that scares you. We got to talk about this stuff. We in this together. Like, I trust you. You got to trust me. Like, we got to make it do what it do. We got to be adults about this shit and we can't keep playing around. So she's like, well, I'm going to go with you. And he's like, you don't need to. What I look like bringing you in there with all them dudes? Ain't no way I'm about to bring you, fine as you are, up in there with all these guys. So they end up realizing they need to trust each other. She's like, okay, go ahead. And, you know, she decides to trust them and let them go. So in the last scene, Sabrina and Calvin are eating dinner and they talk about Maurice being mad about Laz. And they have a little laugh. They joke about that. Then some guy comes over and said, hey, Sabrina, remember I used to work at this other branch with you? You remember me? And he totally disregards Calvin, right? So I'm like, ooh, he is hella disrespectful right about now. So he disregards Calvin, and Calvin, then Sabrina's like, hello, I'm on a date. Did you see him? He like real life sitting over here, like breathing. And so he says, oh, my bad. Well, you know, go ahead and put your phone up. Let me put my phone number in your phone though. I'm like, ooh, you hella disrespectful, sir. He was like, well, my homeboy, you know, convinced me to come over because, you know, I thought that was your friend. Meaning he thought that was her, Calvin was her gay friend. And maybe, just maybe, the indication was from the lacy shirt that you're wearing, Calvin. Okay. Here's my thing with the Calvin character, which I'm very confused with. It's like he's fighting to be a straight gay man. It doesn't make any sense. It's like you're forcing her to accept. It's like you're forcing her to accept how you don't even make any sense. Like, you're doing everything that a non-straight man does, and that she's supposed to be okay with it if she loves you. And I just think that whole narrative is just unrealistic. It doesn't make any sense. Like, it's okay for her to not want to be with somebody that wears lace panties and wants a dildo up their butt and wears lady clothing. Like, those are not signs of a straight man. That is a sign of a man that is confused, and he needs to be confused on his own until he can figure out. And that's okay. If you like other things, that's cool, but you can't force me to be with you while you are in your confused state of mind, and you keep trying to convince me that you're not confused, but yet you keep doing these confusing things. It's very mentally challenging to anybody. Like, I wouldn't want to date Calvin, honestly. So then Calvin gets upset because he feels majorly disrespected. And I'm like, Calvin, listen, we done already seen you get your ass whooped one time in the damn season. Let's not do this again. Last season you got knocked out. Okay, let's not get knocked out again, sir. Okay, you ain't built for this. And neither are your panties. So he gets up and walks over to the dude like he Debo. And he's like, you know what? I'm sick of this. That's very disrespectful. You owe me an apology. And the guy's like, I did apologize to you, sir. I apologize to you over here. How many times you want me to apologize? So then Sabrina's like, Calvin, why are you acting like this? You need to calm down. So then it's like he's blaming Sabrina for this whole situation. And that's another thing I'm sick of Calvin. Stop blaming Sabrina all the time. She is the one that actually said, hello, I'm on a date, I'm here. And he's like, no. And he tells the guy, no, I'm not her friend, I'm her boyfriend. I'm like, so when did y'all decide that y'all was together? I thought y'all was together apart. I don't understand what's going on here. I'm very confused. Just like your underwear. I don't know. Maybe they're in a bunch in his butt and they're not made for him. So maybe he's having some confusion. I don't know. But it was like he was trying to pick a fight with the guy. And I'm like, Calvin, just walk the F off. Like, she's here with you. Obviously, she put the guy in his place and told him to get on about his merry way and skip on down the mulberry bush. Why are you making this a big deal? So now you in here about to get beat up for a second time. Now y'all fighting. And somehow this is Sabrina's fault. I'm like, you know what? This man ain't even worth all the headache that he's giving this woman. I can't deal for her. So I don't know, y'all. Tyler, you're gonna have to do a better job with this Calvin character. He need to get it together and he need to figure out what he want to do, because he kissing men on the mouth in the episode that's supposed to be his friend. Because when Laz came through the door, he kissed him on the lips, child. And I'm like, I don't kiss my friends on the lips. I'm just so sorry when they come in. So, and he don't kiss his other friends on the lips, but all of a sudden I don't know what's going on. You wearing lacy tops, lacy drawers. You want to take it up the ass. You don't like Sabrina, Calvin. Let's be clear. You want Sabrina's brother because you're exhibiting all the behavior of a person and that's okay. If that's what just admit it and stop wasting our damn time in Sabrina's, because I'm sick of you. Okay, Tyler, write Calvin better, because this ain't realistic and I'm sick of him. I'm sick of her. Okay. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much for watching. This has been my review on Sistas, episode 3, season 4. Please, please, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to share this video with anybody else that watches this show too. So peace out, y'all, and I will see you in the next video. Ta-ta.